Are you ready to become awesomer? Hello, everyone. My name is Umar. I'm your host on the No Limit Selling podcast, where industry leaders share their tips, strategy, and advice on how you can become better, stronger, faster. Just before we get started, I've got a question for you. Do you have a negative voice inside your head? We all do, right? I'm going to help you remove that voice in under 30 days guaranteed. Not only remove it, but transform it. So instead of the voice that sabotages you, there's one that propels you to much higher levels of performance and success. There's a link in the show notes. Click on it to find out more. All right, let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the No Limit Selling podcast, where we talk to industry leaders about, what's happening in the real estate biz, how can we thrive in it, how is it changing, and today we have Aaron Bates with us. He's from Long Island. Aaron, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So right now you guys are in transition. You're going from like a brick and mortar traditional brokerage to going on the cloud and also incorporating, brick and mortar, but it's more to kind of, I suspect, be of service to your clients. So tell me, what made you decide to do the switch, and where do you think the industry's heading, real estate in general?
Yeah, so we decided to go with a cloud-based company, Real Broker. It's very tech-centric, very heavy on their culture. There's a lot of collaboration, a lot of coaching, a lot of everything. And one of the things that it's kind of happened since the pandemic is a lot of people are working from home. So I think that has kind of changed the traditional real estate model. Although myself and my partner, Rebecca, and our other partner, Gil, we decided that we wanted the brick and mortar, even though we're cloud-based. So we kind of have the hybrid office of that.
What's kind of interesting is, electric vehicles are all the rage. And when you actually look at the math of it, the most effective strategy is the hybrid strategy, because it takes such a long time to basically pay off all electric vehicle. But if you get a hybrid, you get the benefit of both, which is like all the city driving is done by battery, and all those basic things that eat up a lot of fuel get taken care of the battery, and the gas takes care of the rest. And so I think having a hybrid real estate office makes perfect sense.
Yeah. A lot of people, I mean, if you're really active in real estate, you're on the road most of the time. So your office is mobile. You can do real estate from the beach. You could do it from your house. You could do it from an office. You're doing it in somebody else's home. Right. There you go. A lot of our meetings are at the client's home, or showing a home, or maybe grabbing a beer, grabbing a coffee, sitting out for lunch. And so actually needing an office, you don't actually need one. It just, for some people, they just work better in that environment, which is something that we lost during the pandemic. And we realized that's something we really needed. So although we are cloud-based, we do have a brick and mortar spot that we're currently building out here on Long Island and looking to grow Real Broker.
Nice. So you've got 3 partners, and how many agents and admin staff?
In total, we're probably just over 30 to between 30 and 40 currently. Probably going to grow pretty rapidly. We have other partners that are in other areas of New York, so Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens, and Westchester County. So we're growing fast, and I think it's going to continue that way.
So where do you think the industry's going? Just real estate in general?
Just the market, or the
I think
way
just the
real estate
business
is?
of real estate, because it looks like it's in flux. There's probably more non-traditional people coming into the market. Consumer expectations are changing. The data they have at their fingertips. So I'll give you a good example. I was talking to a broker, and I was saying, hey, there's a really good agent in Toronto. We had a great interview with him. He says, oh, what's his name? And he goes on his phone and he sees all his transactions for the last 3 years. No, this guy looks like he's stalled. Like, just that information at our fingertips is so available to consumers, to professionals. So is this going to change our industry? If so, how?
Yeah, I think that I've been doing this just shy of 12 years, and I think just in a 10-year span, or even a 5-year span, the way you do real estate has changed a lot. The way information is out there. I mean, you have the Zillows, the Trulies, the Realtors of the world, Realtor.com of the world, that you could be sitting in your bed and looking at real estate, and everybody's interested in it. Whether you own a home or you're going to own a home, everybody's interested. And so information is there, but it's not just about, and a lot of that information isn't always correct. So I think
Interesting.
that no matter how tech centric we are and how technology, you held up your phone, changes a lot of what we do day to day. I think the real estate agent, the actual person, it means more now than ever. And I don't think that's something that goes away. I mean, I think that just the transaction, from start to finish, from first consultation to closing on your home, whether you're a seller or buyer, there's a lot that goes in between, and you can't do that with a robot. You need a person. You need somebody to kind of go back to.
What's kind of interesting is I was talking to this woman, Tina. She's a realtor. And in the Niagara Falls area in Canada, one of our clients wanted to buy a house with $350,000. And the average price is $450,000. Like, that's what they're selling for.
Mhm.
And so she goes, huh, maybe I can help you do that. So she looked for listings with 120-day plus listings that haven't sold or have just come off the market, and gone to those people saying, I know you didn't sell your home, but I've got a buyer right now for 350, and she found him a deal. And so that's something a real life person with passion and dedication, just hunting and calling in an afternoon, found a solution for this buyer, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the people aspect of it is huge. I think relationships are more important. And I think that, I could get off the phone with you and someone could, I mean, get off this conversation, and all of a sudden someone contacts me and they're looking for something. I might actually have the person for them. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be a home. It could be a service, a vendor or something. Maybe they need a plumber and they need an electrician. We have all those tools in our box.
Yeah, it's very nice. And collecting those and letting people know, you can become a trusted source in a community, which just helps you grow your business, but also help a ton of people.
Right.
So
Right.
you've got a bunch of agents, and so what I'd like to do is to what are this is gonna be heavy lifting for you, Aaron. So get ready. I'll keep track.
Right.
What are 7 keys to helping agents become more effective?
I think training's important. So obviously that's loaded right there. But um, we have over 30,000 licenses on Long Island alone.
Wow,
So, and 1% of those agents do pretty much all the business.
wow,
So, and there could be numerous reasons for that. It's, a lot of people get their license thinking that they could, a house is just gonna, they're just gonna sell houses. It doesn't work that way. It's not meant to be that way. It's why everyone thinks that we get overpaid, but really there's a lot that goes into it. So, I mean, training is so key, and a lot of agents get into this business and don't get properly trained.
so
Um,
ongoing. So the basic core training, but also ongoing training.
Ongoing training. I think every single day I'm learning something. I've been doing this for a couple days, and it's I'm still always learning. I was in a Zoom call this morning. I was on two yesterday, and just collaborating with other agents or learning or sitting in a educational platform.
Nice.
I go to two conferences a year at minimum, networking and meeting and learning.
That's one of
So
the hallmarks of people that are great at what they do is ongoing education. Wait a minute, but you're at the top of your field, and it's like, yeah, and if I want to stay here and be better, I need to get more training and more nuances. So number one, training. What's number two?
to to stay in the business, or
No, to make agents successful. You're a team leader and you deal with a lot of agents. So what's number two? So one is training, ongoing training. What's number two?
prospecting. You have
Prospecting.
to constantly. I mean, you can't go on vacation after you put something under contract after you have a closing. Just
Yeah.
it's not going to keep you going and stuff. So you have to constantly be prospecting. It's not going to come to you. Eventually, it will. More and more you do it, and you create the relationships. So we run a relationship business, and so we don't have to prospect as much. But with a shifting market like this, we're definitely rolling our sleeves up again and making more phone calls and contacts than we have in the last 2 or 3 years. So
Brilliant.
that's probably definitely a strong thing.
So I'll tell you a joke, which you may find funny or not. Do you know how to make a salesperson shut up? Give them a telephone.
Uh, yeah,
Because people are afraid of the phone sometimes.
yeah.
So I love that. Number one, training. Number two, prospecting. What's number three?
Um, I think they're all gonna like kind of flow into each other, but I think relationships. I think
Yeah,
relationships are key to success to begin with. You have to be a trusted advisor. If you're not, then if you're a sleazy salesman, you're not going to last in this business, and people are going to see right through you. We from day one decided that we didn't want a transactional business. We wanted a relationship business. Hence, we have our yearly annually client appreciation night. Decided to change the name of it this year actually to friends and family, because that's kind of how we feel when we're working with people. You
nice.
might have started as a client, but you end up as a friend or part of the family and stuff. So
And if you do real estate right, you're helping mom and dad with two, three transactions, and then the kids come up, they stay
yeah,
in the same community, they become clients too. So that relationship is key. And also learning how to build relationships because it's not something like most people can do that uh, well. But there's some
right.
people that really make people feel valued in those relationships. And that's a skill like any other. You just need to get better and better at it. So,
Yeah, 100%.
oh, sorry, you were saying?
No, I was just saying 100%. We work with families.
Love
So
that.
it doesn't. It starts with one, and then we're the family realtor now.
Love that. Number
So
four. So we got training, prospecting, building relationships. What's number four?
number four, new agent coming on, consistency. Stay consistent. Um, and that's so again, it's very broad, but consistency is meaning like whether it comes to social media, you have to consistently be posting, consistently getting the name out there, consistently making your calls, consistently getting in front of people. You know, continue to do the things that make you successful. And you might not know what success is at first, but that's why you join a team, or that's why you speak to somebody that's been doing it for a while and doing it well, not doing it and just kind of getting
Yeah,
by and
winging it. Yeah.
selling a couple houses a year.
And I think that's where the relationship with the team leader and the other mentors in the organization really help. That they can tweak you in what you're doing. And people that are masters of their craft, whether it's basketball, baseball, what have you, they know how to do the basics. But what do they practice? The basics all the time. So it's just done consistently and at the highest level. So, number five, what would go beyond training,
Yeah,
prospecting, relationships, consistency?
know your numbers. You got
Yeah.
to know your numbers. Like you got to know um, how many contacts does it take to get to a client or a customer. How many contacts does it take, or how many houses does it take to get to a first accepted offer or to a contract?
And just to add to that, because I think that's spot on, is so let's say whatever that number is in terms of prospecting to listing,
Hmm.
whatever that math works out to, as soon as you figure that out, let's say it's 40 to 1,
Right.
then it's like, okay, Aaron, how do I get down to 38 to 1? What do I need to do differently? And you start working at it and you start getting that math done better and better. So I'm going to add the next one to it. Number six, I'll throw in just to so you
Right.
don't get sweat too much.
Yeah, you really
Process.
put me on the spot on this.
Yeah,
I'm shocked. I'm
I'm really
going with process.
impressed you. But I think number six flows in as process. You have to have a process in whatever you're doing
Mhm.
because when I've got certain metrics that I'm doing and I've got a process, then I can go to Aaron and say, okay, these are the steps I'm doing. These are the numbers I'm getting. They're pretty decent. Then you can say, try moving this step to that step or add this step in and see how that impacts the numbers. And I think that ongoing look at what you're doing. But if you're winging it all the time, you're doing different processes each time, you can improve. So it's basically locking those two things down and getting a mentor to really help you sort things out.
Right. No, and that actually would probably bring me to number seven. Then would be systems, process and systems. Although they are similar in sense,
How are
but
they
they are
different? How would you
different.
articulate the difference?
Well, systems is really like you have to, you know, there's going to be a point in time where if you continue to stick with the business and continually be successful, at some point you're gonna probably get overwhelmed, or you're gonna have too much business. And you never want to have too much business because you want to keep on elevating yourself,
The
right?
quality of the work has to maintain. Yeah.
Right. So whether you're unit driven, money driven, you want to help X amount of people driven, however it is, at some point you're going to plateau. And if you don't put systems in place, you're not going to be able to keep on growing. And that's something that we've been working on and constantly evolving all the time. And that could be, adding an admin or adding this structure to your business, or this is how we're going to do it. Here's the blueprint of that. And I've been telling you, even between the last 3 to 5 years, we're constantly changing it. I don't know if there's ever a way to perfect it because we're evolving as everybody else is evolving. The consumer wants more than they've ever wanted before because everything is at their fingertips. And you had mentioned that before. And I think you even said this line, and I say this all the time: do the heavy lifting up front. That
Yeah.
would be the best advice I'd give a agent that's just starting off. Because if I knew that then, I'd be so much better now.
Absolutely. So we're going to make that number 7. Processes and systems I'm going to combine, although they're different. Do the heavy lifting up front. And I'm going to add a number 8, and then I'm going to challenge you to a number 9. I think really getting a mentor in any industry, like a lot of times for police officers, they call it having a rabbi. Like if you're like a detective, you've got a captain somewhere that's basically helping guide you to figure things out. So I think getting someone that's smarter than you, helping you figure out how to be better is critically important.
100%. That's why I say that maybe joining a team might be your best bet. Surrounding yourself around people that have already done what you want to do.
Yeah, brilliant.
You know,
So if you were starting out from scratch, you're a seasoned business guy, you're coming into the real estate business in this market right now, where would you go? Like, would you join a team? Would you online brokerage? What would be the activities you'd be doing in the first couple of months?
I would join a team that has training. Maybe I could get leads from them. I would not. I hate when people go places and only expect to get leads and be handed something, because the person that needs to be handed something or is expecting to be handed something is the person that's not going to probably succeed.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a push. Everybody needs a start, right? But to expect that, and that's the reason why you went to a certain place, you're probably not going to succeed because it comes from you at the end of the day. If you don't have the drive, then you're not going to. There's a reason why they say it's 87% of real estate agents fail in the first 5 years, and I'm shocked that it's 5 years, that it's not
Yeah.
sooner. And it
And
could be only because they keep their license for 5 years, but they're really just not doing much business.
absolutely. And it's just really doing those challenging things and just, I think sometimes breaking it down to processes and a science, it can take the fear away. Like the whole thing can be scary, but if you break anything down, it's just really, really simple steps to get there. And most people can master any one of them. It's that last thing, that mindset piece, which is so critical. How you see things and how you proceed. Because sometimes you get people that are young and dumb come into an industry and they're like, whatever you tell them they're going to do. And it's like, oh, it's going to work out. And it does. And sometimes once they're in the industry for a while, then it's like, oh my God, this shouldn't be possible. People don't want to hear from me. And they talk themselves out of it. And so keeping that positive mindset is like critical.
Oh yeah, and it's very tough to get caught up in it too, because like you could have a deal that you've been working on or working with a customer for months upon months or even years, and all of a sudden it falls apart, and you all you want to do is just cover yourself up and not get out of bed. But if you do that, then you're not going to get to the next one and stuff. So it's a
Yeah,
constant battle.
the podcast that I just did before this, it was about 30 minutes ago. Let me see if I can. Yanni. He's in Manhattan. No, actually, he's just outside DC. And for him, he was talking about a deal that they were working on that fell apart. And then him and the agent looked at, what went wrong? What could we do differently? And they went back to the homeowner and developed a different formula, closed the deal. So the buyer was happy, homeowner was happy. And it was just having that resilient mindset. How do we figure this thing out? What went wrong? What do we need to do differently? And that comes from mindset, because if you've got a defeatist mindset, then you're going to give up too soon.
Right. 100%. I go into everything thinking that there's an opportunity or a problem to solve. And that's not just in my business, that's in life. I always think that there's a solution to every problem, if there really is even a problem.
Yeah,
So define a problem, I don't really know, but like to one person it's a problem, the other person it's not at all. Like there is a solution to it. We could figure this out.
absolutely. So, last three questions. Question one: what brings you joy in your work?
Helping people out, like that's all we do.
Nice.
It's not just about buying and selling houses. Like these, we just went back to one of our clients' house, who was actually a referral of past clients that have constantly referred us business for the last 5 to 6 years. And it was their first home, and the last 30 days of that, getting from in that contract, the process, the last 30 days was so up and down, and they kept a good head the whole time. And through the process I was like, you know what, I know this stinks, but we're gonna get through, it, and we're gonna get through it. And they were so cool about it last night, like when we were at the house, because they understood the end result,
Nice.
and that's what it is. And you're helping people out that have either been in, you have death, divorce, you have people that are helping that have lived in a home for 45 years and now they're downsizing. And then you have people that are trying to figure out, well, we just had our second baby and now we have to upsize. Like there's so many solutions that you're coming up with, these coming up or helping people. And I truly believe that's what we're doing. We're servicing people.
Ah, love that. What's a mind hack you'd like to share with everyone? Something that allows you to be more effective, more productive?
Mine hacked. I have a mentality of just do it. Like stop, like you know, get out of your own way, and that's oftentimes what happens is people just get in your own way. I'm my own worst critic, and I'm pretty sure that's pretty much everybody.
That's
And
quite common,
I
yeah.
don't really mind hacked. I don't know. I have a pretty positive mindset
So
for the
just
most
do it.
part.
Well,
So
you kind of said it. Just freaking do it.
yeah,
And I think the act of doing it creates the opportunity to accomplish it.
right.
And it's the inertia is the hardest thing to overcome.
Oh yeah.
Brilliant. Aaron, thanks so much for being on the program. Really appreciated the conversation, and thanks for digging deep and kind of going down that list. And I enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah, thank you. You really put me on the spot on that one. I'm shocked. I wish I had notes right here. And now I know what my seven are going to be for a new agent.
Send me the recording, Umar. We'll send you the recording. Looking forward to our next conversation. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
If you enjoyed this episode, please go to iTunes and leave a 5-star rating. And if you're looking for more tools, go to my website at nolimitselling.com. I've got a free mind training course there that's going to teach you some insights from the world of neuro-linguistic programming, and that is the fastest way to get better results.